If I was at the 10, 30K per month kind of area in revenue as a consultant, here's what I would do to change that and scale past that. And before we go into how to do it, let's talk about why you might be stuck and why most people are stuck at 10, 30K per month mark. And it's quite logical. It's quite simple if you think about it. As a consultant, you are basically, if you are not leveraging productized consulting approach, you are basically selling your hours for money, right? So what it means is that your clients are hiring you to fix a problem, to help them find solutions, and you charge them a certain amount of money, but they expect you to deliver, certain amount of time, or put certain amount of time into delivery as well. And so if you're, charging, let's say 5K per project or per month per client, then you typically can work at 5K per month. Depending on the industry, you can probably work with up to 5 clients. That means 1 client per day at 5K per month. And a lot of you will say, well, I wish I could have that many clients, and I wish my clients would pay me 5K, but it's doable. It's absolutely there. It's actually on the lower side of the spectrum. And so at 5K per month, 5 clients, 25K per month, that's fantastic. But also working with 5 different clients, when you have to deliver work in a very customized way, it's quite taxing, it's quite difficult, it's quite exhausting. And so it leads to a quick burnout. It leads to a lot of breaks that the consultant needs, in terms of you don't want to prospect, and you can't actually prospect when you're working with clients right now. Then you probably don't have the time to do marketing and sales, and so you end up having this feast and famine situation, right? So that's on the 5K side of things. If you're either more experienced, or you fix a more valuable problem for clients, then you might be charging 10K per month. But then at 10K per month, the expectation is that you maybe spend more time delivering that service to your clients. So you can so you potentially are tapping out, or capping yourself at 3 clients per month, or per week, or three days per week, or three clients per week, right? So that means 3 clients per month. That means at 10K, again, 30K. So it's that range between 10 and 30 is very, very common. And it's for a lot of consultants, it's very hard to go past that. And the reason why it's hard to go past that, because they think the only way is the traditional way, old school way, inefficient way of scaling, which is to get more clients, I need to have a team so that we can service those clients. And with a bigger team, I can then deliver, I can then have more clients on my roster, basically, right? Which isn't necessarily true, because when you are hiring people to work with your clients, it's not that that person is at the same level of experience and sophistication when it comes to fixing your client's problems. So it's not like you can completely outsource this to the other person. If you found a unicorn like that, that is a problem as well, because if you have a unicorn consultant in your team like that, or unicorn consultants, then a couple of questions are happening here. One, why would that person not work for themselves? They're very high risk of actually opening up their own shop. Number 2, if you lose them for whatever reason, if they lose to run their own thing, if they lose because your competition poached them, if you lose them because they got on vacation or got sick, lose them temporarily, then you are screwed, basically, because you're missing this important piece of the puzzle in your business, like this unicorn consultant who's pulling a lot of weight. So that's the problem. And then when you hire people as well, if they're not unicorns, if they're junior consultants, then you have to oversee the work, right? And then your job changes from overseeing your clients' results and work for clients, to overseeing your consultants. And that doesn't necessarily mean you can have more time. You just change the name of your of your role from a consultant to an HR person or a babysitter, depending on the situation, right? So that's an issue. And then as you grow and as you scale to bigger operations, when you have 5, 10, 20, 30 clients, then that takes you to you end up building this hungry monster as in a business that requires your attention when it comes to people management, when it comes to HR, when it comes to payroll, when it comes to accounting, when it comes to having holiday calendars, when it comes to office drama, and all these other things that are happening. So that's not necessarily the smartest way to grow, and it's not necessarily the most efficient. I would say that this is the least efficient way to scale. So instead of doing that, what you should do is to think about applying the productized consulting approach, which is building a system. And if you listened to my podcast or watch my videos, you will see that I keep talking about systems, methodologies, frameworks, and things like that. And when I say system, it's not an IT system. It's just an approach to doing things. So instead of hiring people to deliver and relying on their experience and their skill set, you need to download your IP into your IP, how you deliver results for your clients, into repeatable, replicable approach or system that you can then leverage when working with clients. And when you do that, you are in position where you can scale by selling the system instead of scaling by getting more team members to work with more clients. This is especially true when you go the group consulting route, meaning when you are working one-on-one in a custom setting, then you definitely need some help to deliver for more clients, because you are tapped out, you have new clients, and those new clients need to be serviced, and then you would need to hire new people. But when you have a system that is replicable, and you can then work in a group setting as well, because you're no longer selling your time, you're selling your system, and multiple people can implement that system at any given time. So that's in a group setting. That's what I exercise, if you will. In my business, I work in group settings. Now, productized consulting is not necessarily a group setting dependent. That's my choice, and that works for me and for my clients. But there's different ways or different layers of productized consulting. You can also have the productized consulting and work on the basis of using systems where you work one-on-one as well. Now, the benefit of doing that is then you are no longer selling your one-on-one hours to a client, because you're no longer servicing them in terms of what they need. You kind of have a system, a package, a productized offer that you sell to them, and that is put in a container of what is being delivered, how far, how soon the results will be there, and how much you're going to charge. There is no conversation about the time that you will spend on delivering this, and that removes completely the conversation about how much you charge per hour. That removes the conversation about scope creep, because if you have a container that you sell, then that's the container that I get. It's like you go to IKEA to buy a table, you're gonna get a table. That table will have 4 legs, and this is gonna be the shape, and that's gonna be the color of the table, and that's gonna be the dimension of it. You cannot all of a sudden expect IKEA to give you a 5th leg for the table, or remove 2 legs. That wouldn't make much sense, would it? So the benefit of moving from working in a custom one-on-one and then trying to get more clients and then hiring more people to serve those clients, what I would do if I were you, if you're stuck at 10 to 30K, and I was years ago, then what I would do, I would sit down and spend some time on thinking, like, how can I productize what I do so that I can deliver my work through systems, repeatable processes, repeatable SOPs, standardized approaches, frameworks, methodologies, whatnot, and put it in a container as in a product, and then sell it to the market so that I can deliver this in a replicable, repeatable way to every client. It also ensures that when you have a product that's kind of contained, it also ensures that the client gets results, because this has worked in the past. This specific IKEA table has worked for clients, and here are the reviews about that table. So when your client buys it as well, it's an easier sell, because you can say, well, this table, this product worked in the past, and so it will work in the future as well. Whereas if you deliver your work that's custom, and you work in one industry on one project within one scope, and then someone else comes to you from a different industry with a different project with a different scope, then all of a sudden this is apples to oranges, and you cannot really guarantee that is going to be a result. I wouldn't guarantee as in like, yeah, 100% guarantee that you're going to get results, whatever. But like, you cannot guarantee the solution will be implemented, because the solution is different, the situation is different, the circumstances are different, industry is different, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of massive benefits of going the productized route, and thinking about your business, your consulting business, through systems and through optimizing and downloading your IP into a productized service versus working in a typical manner one-on-one or on a custom basis. The way you can look at it as well is, typically when you are a consultant or an agency owner, your clients, the market comes to you and asks you, like, can you deliver this thing, right? They come to you, and then you respond to that saying, yes, I can, or no, I can't, right? So you respond to the requests from the market, and each request comes from a different client, maybe from a different industry, with a different scope, with a different need, with a different goal, with a different outcome that's expected. And so every time you respond to that, even though you're super experienced and you can go very broad, every single project is custom, and customization doesn't scale. Now, on the opposite side, and here's what is keeping you stuck, like being that custom, on the opposite side, and this is what will get you out of that 10 to 30K stuck zone, is when you put things into a container, when you productize your service, you have a box, and then you offer that box to the market. So you're not responding to the needs necessarily of the market, but you're giving the market a perfect solution that will work because it has worked in the past. So that changes the dynamic as well, because like I said, you no longer are responding to the custom questions or custom requests. You no longer, you don't see the scope creep happening. Oh, can you also do this? No, I can't, because this is what we do here, right? And so there's a lot of benefits in that, on top of the fact that you can actually scale this, because it's so much easier to scale something that's repeatable, that you can deliver with your eyes closed, because it's the same thing that you delivered multiple times in the past. And you have the systems, the tools, the apps, the worksheets, everything is tuned in and works like a well-oiled machine, so that you can actually deliver more of those projects per month or per week, and hence you can get more clients, right? And so this is something that we use all the time, and that I have built my business, six-figure per month business, and I'm helping other clients, consultants and agency owners and freelancers to go through that as well. And they move really, really quickly from 10, 20, 30Ks to 40, 50K, not only with more money, not only with more profit, because you don't have to hire anyone, but also with a lot of peace of mind, with a lot of peace and space in your head, because you no longer have to chase, you no longer have to struggle, you no longer have to worry about like what's going to happen next, when is the scope creep. When you have the request from a client and they're like, hey, can you also do this? And like, oh my gosh, they pay me 10 grand, so I think I should. And then you deliver that, and that creates this weird dynamic of they kind of own you, right? And then you start resenting them, and it just, the whole relationship goes south. So going the productized way is how I would solve a problem of being stuck between 10 and 30K per month.